Hi, Namaskaram and welcome back. This is the fourth video in this series in which I'm going to share about my experience of serving at Dhynalinga, and also I'll be talking about a few things like what really volunteer is, and also what they want you to do and how they want you to be. And also it is not only about Dhynalinga but any aspect of your life, how you become a volunteer. First day I reach and then I checked in and I got to know that I have arrived a day before than I was supposed to. They told me that you can take rest for today and from tomorrow onwards you can start serving. I said no, I'm not here to take rest. I'm here to strive. I'm here to do the thing. I'm here to volunteer. So it doesn't matter that the time has not arrived, but I'm willing and I'm going to do it. So they said it's up to you. So they said once you have your brunch, then you can go near the Dhynalinga mandapam and ask somebody to guide you that what you can do over there. So I asked them when is the food time or when is the brunch. So they told me it's 9:50, you can go to the Viksha hall. I said where is the Viksha hall? They said during 9:50 you will see lots of people would be going in one direction only, just follow them. So I did the same. In 9:50 everyone were started rushing in one direction and everyone was rushing, they were not walking. So I walked with them. I had the brunch in the beginning first time, and after having the brunch I come back. Then I went to the mandapam and I saw a person. I asked him, so I was here for volunteering, can I do it? So he said, are you a general volunteer? I did not know who is a general volunteer or something. I said yes. But then I later told him, no, I'm not. I'm here for Linga Seva only. So he told, oh, okay, do one thing. Here you can stand and greet every devotee who are coming over here and guide them towards Dhynalinga. It was so much difficult for me to stand there and do this namaskara and guide everyone this Dhynalinga. So it was really difficult for me because I have never done this, and suddenly doing this to every other devotee who are coming and saying the same sentence again and again, this Dhynalinga, this Dhynalinga, this Dhynalinga. This is just not a normal thing, because once you do this and say this Dhynalinga is fine, but repeating that thing again and again to every devotee, that seems very weird. So I was very awkward and being weird in that situation. But after doing a certain period of time I was not doing it properly, because some devotee used to come and they used to say, yeah, I have to go there. I used to let them go, but somehow their idea of serving is, if anybody comes to the ashram, you must make sure that these people go to Dhynalinga. You have to make sure, because that's the main element of entire ashram. Adiyogi is just an place where you can take pictures, you can post it on social media, but Dhynalinga is the main objective of for which the entire ashram is get created around it. So Dhynalinga is the thing that everyone should experience, irrespective of the experience that Devi temple they experience the Adi Yogi or not. Dhynalinga is must. So it was difficult for me in the beginning, but from next day onwards, everything started making sense. The first day when we go there, they wanted us to spend one day in complete silence. They wanted us to do it so that we'll get caught up from the nonsense from the world. We are not allowed to use our phones, we are not allowed to read anything, we are not allowed to talk to anybody. So they give us a tag of sadhana over here. So every person who is having a tag of sadhana, you will find those persons would not be talking to anybody. They will be folding their hand and working entire ashram. Everywhere they are doing, they are chanting some mantras, and they will be walking by facing downwards. They'll be like looking 3 feet ahead from your feet, and that's it. The entire day should go like that. So this is how the entire day of me went. In this one day, the reason they wanted us to spend like this is to notice, to observe, to pay attention to things which are getting ignored every single day. And the moment you start paying attention to every small tiny thing in the world, you will get to know that every small tiny thing has an infinite intelligence within it. The thing that is thriving within you is thriving within them as well. So inevitably you start bowing down to everything. So that is one thing they wanted us to do, to bow down to every other thing that is there, that is possible out there. Every single day, if I ask you, so bow down to the things that you think is intelligent than you. So most people would do bow down to people who are better than them, not to the people who are lower than them. But if you see the fundamental aspect of life is thriving within the smaller ones, the bigger ones, and everybody else as well. Correct? Now, that is possible, right? Humans are a very easy thing to like fold your hand and do namaskaram to a human being. But how about a leaf? How about a tree? How about an animal? How about normal pebble? If it's a tree, if it's an animal, then you will say, okay, there's a living things. But what about a pebble? That's not a living thing, right? And it doesn't have intelligence either. So how can you bow down to it? Do you naturally do it? Because somehow you know that that is also a part of creation and this is also a part of creation. There is no difference between that and this one. Maybe these are the two different creations, but at the end you will find these are the two extension of the same creation itself. So there is no difference in them. So once you start realizing that, you start bowing down to every individual thing every single time you are watching, every single time you are seeing, and from that day onwards, from next day, every single person I saw, I started bowing down to them. And it is not like without having a smile. Whenever you go to any kind of mall, you will see people, particularly the security guard who is standing in front of the door, they used to do this namaskaram, right? But you will see their faces, they will make long faces and do this one. So it's very awkward to do that. But when you start doing this one with a smile, genuine, it really feels good. You feel that inside your heart, and also the person who is watching you feels it inside them. Every single time I have done this through the entire journey of Linga Seva, folding my hand and smiling to a person, every single devotee smiled us back. It is possible that the devotees might not have smiled for a long period of time. When you see their faces, you can be able to guess it. These people also smile when you genuinely smile through your heart. So that is why the sadhana, which is called bhakti sadhana, is way more important before doing any kind of volunteering. So when you go for 2 days volunteering, 3 days volunteering, any kind of event volunteering or program volunteering, you were not prepared for that. Before any kind of volunteering, you have to go through the bhakti sadhana. If you have not gone through the bhakti sadhana, if you don't feel that devotion inside you towards any other things in the world, it is really going to be difficult for you to act in that way. After a certain period of time, there were few people who started saying that Swamiji, we are doing it very mechanically right now. Initially it felt really good. We started doing this like folding your hand very genuinely with a genuine smile. But when devotees kept coming in to doing this to every single devotee, you started becoming difficult. So now when we are do it, it just becomes very mechanical. We don't do it with enough devotion. Now, to answer this question, this is something that going to happen to you if you do any kind of volunteering. Now the problem with this one is, if you do not do with complete willingness every single time you do anything like that, it will accumulate more karma for you instead of dissolving. Every single time when you listen to Sadhguru about volunteering, he would be saying that every volunteering activity designed in such a way that it will pass you through a process of hard work of a long period of time. So they put you in a fast track so that the karma that you are allotted in this particular life should get over as soon as possible, so that you could get the freedom that you are looking for. So that is the main intention of them, to make you work so hard and hard and hard throughout the day, throughout the night, without sleeping, without eating, for endlessly they want you to work. I mean, they make sure that you eat, they make sure that you sleep properly, but irrespective of that, they want you to do as much as possible so that the karma that you are allotted in this life should get over as soon as possible. Now, if you are doing anything, any activity without willingly, mechanically, or by feeling that there is a bondage and you're supposed to do it, then what it does is it creates a negative impact on your soul. So instead of dissolving the karmas, you started getting entangled more and more. Now the problem with this is, you are on a fast track. If you do not go in the right direction, if you go in the opposite direction also, you are still going in the same pace. So instead of dissolving karmas in the fast pace, you are accumulating karma in the same pace, which is again a fast one. So that is why it is necessary for you, if you are doing volunteering, then it is essential for you to understand that which direction you are walking. If you cannot do it willingly, then you're supposed to take a break, sit silently somewhere. After a certain period of time, when you get back the energy, just come back and do everything willingly. Never do anything forcefully if you are doing volunteering. Now, when it say volunteering, it means if we say volunteering in normal language or in Hindi or Odia, it becomes स्वेच्छा सेवी. Correct? स्वेच्छा means स्व इच्छा, खुद की मर्जी से. That is what it's called volunteer. Correct? Now, often people say when it comes to volunteering, they say they have to go to some ashram or NGO or something to do the volunteering, but that is not the case. Volunteering means doing anything by your own will. It could be in your same office, same job, it could be in the relationship in which you could say that I'll take this project by myself, I'll complete it. I'll take this extra task by myself, I'll complete it. In a relationship, you can take up the responsibility. So every single time in normal world as well, when you do something willingly, that becomes a volunteer. Now it doesn't mean that you're supposed to go to some ashram to do volunteering. Once you understand once you understand the essence of volunteering, you become the volunteer towards life. Every single thing that you are doing in your life, irrespective of it's a job, it's a business, or it's a relationship, or any kind of thing, if you do it voluntarily, opennessly, willingly, then everything that you are doing, you are going to achieve it. Now the reason I'm saying you are going to achieve it is because once you leave yourself away, then you as easily can focus onto the task that you are doing. The problem of human beings right now is their identity. So the identity that we are having, we have loaded with so much ego into it that every single thing that we do, this ego resists us to go beyond a certain limit. मुझे तो इतना पैसा मिल रहा है, मैं इतना ज़्यादा काम क्यों करूँ? Correct? मुझे तो रेस्पेक्ट नहीं मिल रहा है, मैं काम क्यों करूँ? Now when you leave this मुझे part, everything rest you do is irrespective of मुझे रेस्पेक्ट मिल रहा है, मुझे पैसे मिल रहे हैं, ये काम है and I would like to do it. Voluntarily you do it. If you never volunteered inside your kitchen, अपनी मम को अगर हेल्प नहीं करते आप, यहाँ पे आके आप कहते हो कि yes I'm going to become a volunteer and do seva in the ashram, but when you go back to home, you order your mom to cook something for you. I mean that's a normal thing if your mom is cooking for it, but if she is not cooking for it, if you are there beside her doing something, some help to her, that is also a part of volunteering. So whoever comes to ashram are not the true volunteer, but these are the learner of volunteering. So they come to ashram, they learn the volunteering process, and they go outside of the world and keep volunteering process on. It doesn't mean that you volunteer inside the ashram or in NGO only. You volunteer around the world wherever you go. So when you start volunteering, you stop giving yourself much importance, because when it comes to volunteering, they do not ask you to do the topmost tasks. They will ask you to become a security guard in the ashram. They'll ask you to wash the dishes. So these are not the things that you should be proud of. But somehow deep inside, if you see this without keeping the ego, then you're gonna love every task that you are given. And if you can do it inside the ashram, you can do the same outside the ashram as well. In the outside of the ashram, any task that you are given is anyway respectable. But if you are given it, just do this with the complete respect. And if you, do this with complete willingness. And if you are willing towards everything, then it must yield. It will yield. And that is how everything works. So this is the complete journey of bhakti sadhana, karma, which is associated with volunteering, and what a true volunteer is. I hope you have understood something out of this video. And in the next video, I'll be sharing the day when I accepted Dhynalinga as my own guru and the reason for it. I'll explain it, the entire story, and also I'll share some of the knowledges that I've gained out of it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Namaskaram.